I've already made 2 videos about EUC ride modes in general, but this time I'm going way deeper into the settings on the Inmotion V11 and V12 and somewhat on the V10 as well. I'll also go through how to familiarize yourself with these settings and how to find the best ones for you. I talked about the ride mode settings versus acceleration effort in one of my videos, but I need to mention that the relationship between the pedal hardness and acceleration effort isn't at all linear. It's all about finding the right balance. The settings that take the least amount of effort are the ones that feel the most natural to you and only you. Spend some time learning about how the different adjustments feel, and you'll be rewarded with a highly customized riding experience. I know that I can never go back to just 3 preset riding modes. And it's not at all about having to keep tweaking them. You set them once and you're good to go. You can forget about them. This does make test riding Inmotions quite tricky though, since the variety of different behaviors is absolutely huge. That means that you can't judge the ride feel of an Inmotion from a quick test ride like you can all the others that only have 3 modes. You'd have to really dig in and explore. Chances are that a few of the over 2 million adjustment combinations would work well for you. The adjustment ranges and the overall ride feel are sometimes updated by a firmware upgrade, so the details said in this video might not apply to other versions than firmware 1.4.22 and app version 8.0.7. For clarity, when we talk about a soft, medium or hard mode, it refers to the adjustments on other than Inmotion wheels. It determines how much the shell and the pedals of the wheel tilt while you accelerate and brake. A soft mode follows your lean and tilts quite a lot, making it effortless to accelerate calmly and easy for your ankles. A hard mode tilts barely at all, forcing your ankles to tilt more and requiring more physical effort to accelerate at the same rate. It also gives you slightly less range. Medium mode is usually the best compromise. Some riders say that they use the hard mode because they don't want their wheel to tilt, but they are probably misunderstanding this a bit. Because what makes each wheel feel like they do is about the firmware programming, and the difference between the programmings is exactly that they tilt differently. And we are talking about extremely minor amounts of tilt here, and it's too small for you to feel as an actual tilt. It's just a signature behavior. And sure, the lowest settings will tilt a lot, but the range between medium and hard, or 50 and 100, it's really worth exploring even if you don't want the wheel to tilt specifically. We'll start with the drive mode settings. There are 2 options, commuter and off-roading. You can of course use either one for either purpose. They are just descriptions of the different behaviors. Note that changing the drive mode setting requires pressing the lift button on the wheel afterwards for it to register. Commuter is the normal setting, where the pedal harness slider directly affects how soft or hard the ride feel is. From standing on a thin camping mattress to a soft bed, and 99 positions in between. When you lean forward to accelerate, the wheel follows your lean and tilts forward a bit right away. When you lean harder to accelerate faster, it tilts more. It feels natural, comfortable, and predictable. The overall amount of tilt is set with the pedal harness slider. Low settings tilt a lot, and high settings tilt only very little. The commuter mode is more effortless since it helps you in getting into the leaning position faster. But you need to find a suitable pedal harness setting, or the wheel will fight you or feel unstable. More on that later in this video. Then there's the off-roading mode, and that's a bit trickier to explain. At 100% harness, instead of the camping mattress, it's like standing on solid wooden plank. But when you lower the pedal harness, it's still a solid plank, but the plank turns into a seesaw. The lower you adjust the pedal harness, the further the seesaw will rock back and forth. Below 30% pedal hardness, the seesaw effect gets quite pronounced and it feels as if you have some slack in the wheel. The intent behind this peculiar off-roading behavior is this. When you hit obstacles like roots and rocks, the wheel slows down, causing your weight to shift forward, which then accelerates the wheel, increasing the motor output power. What makes the commuter mode comfy is that it ramps up the power a bit slower, which is why it tilts forward immediately when you accelerate. In the case of roots and rocks though, the slower ramp-up power can feel as if the wheel was struggling to clear the obstacle. In off-roading mode, the response is more instant, so the wheel tilts less and climbs faster over the obstacle. It's more stable and doesn't feel as if the wheel might not have enough power. A commuter pedal harness 100 is comparable to maybe off-road 70, so the hardest off-road setting is harder than the hardest commuter setting. Then there's the relatively new split mode that isn't available on the V10 or V10F. It has adjustments for acceleration and braking, and you can of course turn the split mode on or off. While the pedal harness adjusts the instant feel from a soft bed to a wooden plank, the split mode settings act very slowly. If you accelerate with a low split mode setting, the wheel starts to tilt forward slowly over about 2 seconds. It's as if you were standing on a 60-foot boat in a storm with big waves. Hence, split mode settings only assist you if you keep accelerating or braking for longer than 1 or 2 seconds. The range of adjustments is a bit misleading though. A neutral setting where it doesn't make a difference whether the split mode is on or off is about 70. The smaller the number, the more the wheel tilts and the more it assists you in braking or acceleration. Settings lower than 20 though feel quite disconcerting during medium and hard accelerations, as if the wheel was going to drop you on your face or on your butt while braking. If you go over 70 though, the wheel overcompensates. So when you accelerate, the wheel will slowly tilt back a bit, and for braking it tilts you forward. And this setting is good for... well, actually I have no idea. I guess someone might like it if they really want the wheel to fight against their intent. The V13 has acceleration and braking assists that serve a similar purpose, but at least the adjustment ranges are reversed and quite different to V11 and V12. The split mode adjustments can actually help in mimicking the traditional Gotway Begode feel. As far as my memory serves me about how it feels, Gotway Hard reflects to off-roading 100 and split settings 80 and 75. Gotway Medium is commuting 100, split mode 40 and 60. And Gotway Soft is off-roading 30 and split mode 25 and 30. Now that you know exactly what the adjustments do, it's time for you to find out how they actually feel. It's completely different to know what they do and to understand how they fit into your riding style. Start with the commuter mode, pedal hardness at 10%, and keep the split mode off for now. Remember to engage the lift button if you change the drive mode. Go for a short ride and be sure to make both short and a bit longer medium strength accelerations and brakings. Pause the video here and continue when you have tried these settings out. So, the pedals tilted a lot and the wheel felt very soft. That's called a soft mode, though this setting is even softer than a modern soft mode on other wheels. It can be comfortable for relaxed cruising, but unstable for medium and hard accelerations. Now increase the pedal hardness to 50% and do the exact same tests again. Now the wheel felt firmer, but still malleable, and accelerations and brakings were effortless. That's called a medium mode. Now go all the way to 100%. The pedals felt solid and there was no obvious tilting going on. Accelerations took a bit more effort. That's called a hard mode. And now switch to the off-roading mode and set the pedal hardness to 100% as well. Remember to press the lift button for it to register. The difference is not huge, but the pedals are now even firmer. Now lower the pedal hardness to 50%. The difference is very small, but there's a tilt at the center that follows your lean. And now go down to 0%. With this one, the loose section in the middle should be more obvious, as if some bolts were loose somewhere in the wheel. Those are the ranges of the base settings. Now let's add in the split mode. We'll stay in the off-roading mode, pedal hardness at 50%. Set both split modes to 10% and do a few accelerations and brakings that last at least 3 seconds each. The wheel felt solid and hard at the beginning of acceleration, but then started to tilt forward considerably. And now set both split modes to 100%. Again, the wheel felt solid at first, but then started to tilt back during acceleration and forward during braking. It's a really strange feel. You should explore all these settings completely freely. There are no settings that you should or shouldn't use. Just be careful with the very lowest end of the adjustments. A few settings that I found good for me on a V11 are 1. Commuter mode, all 3 at 50%. This is a comfy mode that feels very natural for medium and soft accelerations on flat ground or easy off-road paths. It helps in making a large wheel feel more agile and obedient. 2nd, commuter mode 100, 40 and 30. This feels pretty solid for more aggressive riding, but still helps you in accelerations and brakings that last a bit longer. And 3rd, off-roading mode 40, 40, 30. This is my preferred off-road setting for gnarly tracks and when noodling around on cliffs and such. There you go. I hope this guide will help you in getting the best out of your wheel. Thanks for watching.